So if we had just stayed with the one working mold that we bought, it would have taken even longer, because if you imagine that a weekend retreat, if you were lucky, you would get 2 casts out of that mold on a retreat, because the molds have to dry every time they're used. So it wasn't really practical to just have one working mold. So the first thing we had to do was make molds. So this picture shows half a gTérbum in the case mold. And so this is being prepared to turn it into the one side of a mold. In the background, you can see the base mold as well. And on the back left, you can see a mold for the lid. The lid mold was very simple. So in order to pour plaster onto plaster, you have to prepare it so that they don't just stick together and you've lost your base, your case mold. So you paint on something called soft soap. You paint it on, you wash it off. You paint it on, you wash it off. You paint it on a third time, and then you leave it, and then you make your mold. Now, this is what the mold looks like. It's a 4-part mold for the body of the pot. So there's 2 sides, a base, and a top. So that's a larger version of that picture. The reason it looks a little bit sort of yellowy is because of the soft soap that we're painting on there. So you can see the base mold slightly better at the back there. You can see there's a slight indent of the shape of the foot of the gTérbum. All the photographs are very poor quality from this early back for 2 reasons. One, not everybody had a really good quality camera in their pocket in those days. And 2, it never occurred to us that we were documenting something important. So we didn't take the sort of photographs we should have taken, really.
I feel very lucky we have what we have and we were able to find them all.
Yeah, true. So then you add boards to the side of these molds, and then you pour the plaster into it to make that half of the mold. The reason I'm telling you all this detail is that I really enjoyed other people's presentations where they explained how they did things. So I hope this is enjoyable, explaining how it was done. Potter's plaster is a particular mix of plaster so that it remains porous when it's turned into a mold. We mix the plaster by hand. You mix it to the point where it starts to feel as though it's becoming a little bit thicker, a bit like making a white sauce or something. And then as soon as it starts to feel it's thickening, you then have to pour it into the mold, because it then quite quickly goes off and becomes solid. It then goes through a chemical process. It gets very hot. And so you have to just leave this to really firm up and go through that process for a while.